Hey, good Wednesday morning, Quad Cities. The time is 9 o'clock right now. I am meteorologist Andrew Stutzke alongside.
I'm weather anchor Peter Warner.
Yeah, good to be back here on post-April Fool's Day, April 2nd. Did anybody get fooled yesterday? We did.
We did.
Oh, big time.
Big time. By WOI, their chief meteorologist, Chris Duval. He posted a snow forecast through Thursday and said temperatures changed just enough. And we both were like, you wouldn't be joking, right? So we frantically, for like, what, a minute straight were looking into models. Then I read the whole post and it said at the end, if you're still reading this, we got you. So both of us fell for that.
We both fell for it. And it wasn't just a little snow he put on that snowfall map.
Oh, he put 5 to 8 inches.
Yeah.
Like, carrying from central Iowa all the way here towards the Quad Cities. And we bit.
Yeah. So congratulations, Chris.
Congrats.
You got us at your sister station here in the Quad Cities. We were scrambling for a minute. No, there is no snow coming our way, but there is going to be some rain again.
Is another potential round making its way through this afternoon.
Yeah, and it's been a good dose of rain coming through this morning too. So we'll take it. Farmers are happy. You know, we're going to be planting in the next several weeks here. It won't be long.
It's getting close.
That's right. So a lot to talk about. We'll talk about what's going on now. Of course, the isolated to scattered severe storm threat for this afternoon. We'll get to that too. And any other weather-related question you would like to ask today. If you've never done this before, welcome.
Welcome.
We do this every Wednesday as long as there's nothing too major going on in terms of severe weather. We had a nice break from severe weather this morning. In fact, there was none reported, which was good. So we'll go ahead and proceed as if it's a normal Wednesday around here.
Wednesday.
So how this works is if you have a weather-related question, again, keep it weather-related. Don't make it weird, as we always say. You can text that question to 309-304-0888, 309-304-0888.
It's easy to remember. It's 309, it's 304, and then it's 0888. And you know, we are channel 8.
That's right.
Oh my gosh, let's even blow it up.
Yeah, and put it in red.
Yes.
So it gets your
Bang.
attention. Dang, there it is. So yeah, text that number. If you don't want to text us, you can also do it on the live stream on the social media app. But honestly, the texting is the better way to go. It sees more eyeballs when it gets texted in because our digital team is there waiting for the question with bated breath. And they can't wait to get it and get it to us here. So go ahead and text those questions in. Shall we start with what happened this morning or what is going on this morning?
Yeah, I mean, we saw some live radar. Maybe we can get into that.
Yeah, we'll pull that up. So if you haven't been joining us throughout our 8+ coverage all morning long, let's go ahead and get you back up to speed in terms of what's happening right now with the storms. Again, thankfully, we did not have any severe weather this morning. That could have very much been different had we gotten a little bit more storm energy and had a warm front got a little closer.
Yeah, and a little bit more downdraft too, because this wind was super strong in the higher levels of the atmosphere. I mean, this storm was moving 60 miles per hour here this morning. It was running across the central Iowa into the Quad Cities. And
it was moving.
It was moving quick, but luckily, we didn't see any of that. None of it reached down to the surface or little, gusts of that. So just some good old-fashioned thunderstorms, which is good news, as we said.
Yeah, get some nitrogen in the ground. Things are really going to green up here the next couple of days. And some of you may have to start mowing as early as next week. Just a heads up, if you haven't gotten that tractor or that lawnmower in for maintenance yet, might want to get that done before the big rush comes in here in the next few weeks. So here's the current state of affairs. Where's the strongest, heaviest rain right now? Well, it's right there south of Kewanee. It's in Stark County, south of Toulon. Got a nice little cell there, likely producing some heavy rain, some lightning. Some of these have also been putting down some of that pea-sized hail.
Yes.
We saw a couple pictures of that this morning from you folks at home. So hail is certainly possible with the stronger stuff. We've got moderate rain from Aquaka to Monmouth to Galesburg, right along I-74. We go to the north. We're just about done.
Almost done.
Here in the Quad Cities. Getting there.
Getting there, but is that good news?
But is that good news? In this case, it's not.
No.
Not specifically for the Quad Cities proper, but if you live east of the Quad Cities, you don't want to be done with this rain early because that means sunshine, and we'll talk about why that's important. So you do notice, out here in Iowa, especially central Iowa, we have some clearing going on. There's not anything going on in terms of rain or thunderstorms. That's important because as the cold front, which is currently just east of Kansas City now, moves up into this area where the sun is shining and that continues to move east, That's going to mean trouble for areas east of the Quad Cities for a scattered severe storm threat as we get into the afternoon. We kind of been watching the visible satellite, which now that we're further into the morning, we're getting a little bit better vantage point in terms of how much clearing is going on and how robust the clearing is. Let me put this on an hour loop because, 3 hours is too long because we haven't had the sun that long.
No.
But if you put the hour loop on here, we're kind of trying to see the trajectory of this clearing. And you can see some north of Kansas City and kind of right in Des Moines.
Yeah, it's right into Des Moines, right along that I-35 corridor right now. That's where you're kind of seeing it in those southern counties, Polk County and down south. That's where you're seeing that clearing, kind of right there. And that's kind of where you're going to be building up that storm energy and take into account. It'll take about, 2-3 hours to make its way over here towards the Quad Cities, about the pace the system's, again, moving. The upper level atmospheric winds are moving. So take that into account when it's going to be here. 11, 12, 1.
Yeah, right around
What happens right around that time is the peak heating and peak energy reaching the surface.
Yeah, we'll see how much of that sun we can get. Now, we have a Des Moines camera loaded into our system, and I'm going to try and pull that up. There's a live look from Des Moines, and I don't see much sun yet.
No.
So still a lot of clouds. It looks like they got some fog.
It's a little bit of that
going on
fog
too.
making its way down, yeah.
Probably some really light winds over Des Moines right now as that area of low pressure is getting closer and closer. But that's what we're going to be watching, that little corridor of some drying coming in. That's what potentially gets us in trouble as we go into this afternoon. So we'll go back to the current state of affairs, look at temperatures. We have wind advisory in place today too. There's a lot going on. So there you see temperatures. We have some 40s area wide, but some upper 50s are starting to sneak in from the south. Now, we will hit the 70s this afternoon, most likely, especially if we get that clearing in here. And even if we don't, it's this strong south wind, this southeast wind going into the area of low pressure that's going to send us there too. Look at gusts to the west of us already approaching 40 miles an hour. All of us will see those gusts as we go into this afternoon, and some may get close to 50. If you're in that wind advisory from noon until 7, you're pretty much guaranteed the 50 mile an hour wind gusts. If you're not to the northeast of the Quad Cities, it's more 40 to 45. But still, 45, 50, a difference of 5 miles an hour isn't a whole lot. It's still going to be impactful.
So impactful. Make sure you need to secure those loose objects. And again, if you're driving by high-profile vehicles here today, that's something to keep an eye on too. Those 18-wheelers, they will be swinging.
Yeah, we want to give them some extra room.
Give them some extra room.
Don't be cozying up to them, not like you should anyway. But
No.
Today especially.
Don't try and speed past them if there's those strong winds going by either. Just take it slow.
Just take it slow. Slow and easy.
Yes.
Exactly. So our weather impact alert, what has changed with that? We've extended the timeline now to about 6. Depending on how things look, we may be able to cut this out a little earlier. Again, we're going to be watching the radar as we go into this afternoon. This is going to be for the afternoon, and it's going to be for areas east of the Quad Cities for that hail, the damaging wind gust threat, and also an isolated tornado. So we just want you to stick with us as we go through the day. We're going to constantly be tweaking this forecast. We're literally changing this hour by hour as we get that new data in. So that's why the A+ app is nice, because we're giving you that information live at several points and times during the day. Check this out. And this has been something to watch, a very rare 5 out of 5 extreme risk for severe weather. And this has actually been extended further southwest than what it looked like this morning. It includes Carbondale, Paducah, all the way down through Memphis. Our sister station ABC 24, they're bracing for some very strong to severe storms heading into this afternoon and evening. That is going to be a big headliner here for the evening newscast. Likely going to see a lot of damage there. Now, thankfully for us, we're not expecting that. We're going to see less in the way and the intensity of those storms. And we noticed this shift as of the 8 o'clock outlook from the Storm Prediction Center, which is what we're showing you here. We've shifted the 3 out of 5 zone even further to the east. Earlier, it was about right here.
Yeah.
And now we've taken that, we've moved it about 25 to 50 miles further to the east. Why did we do that, or why did the Storm Prediction Center do that? Well, that's where we're likely going to have the best ingredients for severe storm formation later this afternoon.
Yeah, that's where that kind of storm energy mixing with the timing of the cold front plus that dew point, that's kind of where you're getting that best, all those ingredients kind of meeting up together in that kind of potential scenario. I guess that's where you have the highest potential with it.
Exactly. Everything coming together just perfectly to produce that potential. So you also notice that 70 mile an hour wind zone has shifted east too. So this afternoon, we're really concerned about with areas that are near Princeton, Bureau County, Stark County, just east of Galesburg, east of Geneseo, east of Sterling Rock Falls. Those are the areas that are likely going to see the stronger storm activity, especially when it comes to wind. Nothing has really changed when it comes to the tornado threat. It does remain isolated. I don't believe it's going to be anything on the Iowa side of the river. I believe this is going to be all Illinois side. Let's go to Future Track, except I'm going to change one thing, and we can do that because we're here on the fly. I'm going to change this to our hourly updated.
Refresh.
Might as well get the hourly data instead of the 4, because we'll get another update to our 4-hour model coming up actually any minute from now. We get closer to the 10 o'clock hour. Sometimes it's earlier. But let's do the rapid update, and we'll kind of take you through this in steps here. So this is as of right now, and yeah, I'd say that looks pretty darn accurate, maybe about an hour behind. But again, this is updating hourly. So we'll take this through the rest of the morning. There's our break. And you know what? I'm kind of curious.
So add the cloud cover with this.
Yep, we're going to take off. Actually, no, let's leave that on. I'll just put clouds over top of it. Let's put that back on. So let's put clouds up there. We'll leave storm energy on. So there's, that break that you would need ahead of the cold front coming in to get the new storms to fire this afternoon.
Oh.
So that's what you're seeing.
Yeah, and this rapid refresh is showing a little bit more scattered potential here towards the Quad Cities, potentially.
Yeah.
I mean, again, that looks more just like a shower, but even before we weren't really seeing that.
Yep, exactly. So it's going to be interesting to see, do we see that maybe ramp up a little bit more now that the sun is going to be coming out? And you see what we mean about this being right on the edge. Look at where the new storms are taking off. It's south of Princeton, and that's late this afternoon into the early evening. Now, the Storm Prediction Center may be putting that 3 out of 5 for this activity here around 2, because what we're probably going to see is we're going to see impacts of what we call a trough come in first, and then the cold front. The trough can sometimes be a mechanism for a little bit more stronger forcing than the cold front, depending on the wind field. So that's why you're seeing these severe storms east of Interstate 39 first. And then this more scattered activity, like you were talking about, Peter, there coming in this evening. But one thing's for sure, by 6 o'clock, this is it.
That's it.
It's over.
We're done.
Yeah, there's nothing further expected. So again, it's the quality of what we're seeing right in here, this clearing and this sunshine, that will dictate how strong the severe storms get this afternoon. And even if we do see the clearing, it still appears the worst of it is going to be east of the Quad Cities.
Yes, that's definitely something to keep an eye on. And pardon me, my goodness.
We're all losing our voices.
We're all losing our voices.
Today.
We've been talking a lot here today. And you notice that one little cell kind of had that kidney bean shape.
Yes.
That made its way to the furthest east portions of the area. That's, again, where we have that elevated risk for those more potential supercell type formations to form today.
Exactly. We started seeing that first yesterday.
Yes.
Around this
We saw
time.
that live on air. We actually were breaking down, well, not on air, but on the app here, we were breaking down that system potential moving through.
As that model was coming in. So yeah, definitely that was the case. Let's see what's going on in terms of the hourly threat tracker, and we'll show you that here. There you see it. And yeah, this morning hasn't been too exciting. We didn't have any warnings. We saw some small hail. I'm glad it wasn't any more exciting than it potentially could have been. Getting into the afternoon, though, again, low confidence on what could come in here between 2, 4, 6 o'clock east of the Quad Cities, all dependent on that amount of sunshine that we see. The good news is once we get out of today, this pattern is going to quiet down. There's going to be this front that comes through today is going to stall well to the south of us, and it will keep the severe weather threat there through the weekend. I don't think we're going to have to worry about storms here again until we get potentially to later next week. But we've got a quieter stretch of weather outside of some showers coming in Friday into Saturday. The rest of the period looks quiet. A little chilly there on Monday. 40s again.
Oh,
A little chilly there.
darn.
But we will warm back up
We'll warm back up.
eventually.
There's a nice little trend potential as we get towards the back end of that forecast into the 14-day.
It's looking real nice.
Real nice temperatures. So,
We'll give
throw
it to
on
you.
there. Yes.
You ask and you shall receive. There it is.
Thank you. Thank you, sir. Yeah, I mean, like nice trend. Oh, that looks.
Yeah.
That's the ideal spring
Doesn't that look much
temperature you
nicer?
want right there. And look at those partly cloudy skies.
So much nicer.
Perfect.
We're going to really enjoy that. Now, yeah, there could be a shower storm in there at some point. No clear signal yet, but we're going to watch that potential. Plenty of time for it to change.
Just a trend.
Yes,
But
just a
it's a nice trend. I'm excited about.
A very nice trend. So before we get to your questions real quick, let's go over what we talked about on Monday. And that was somebody asking, what are the chances we see snow this month?
Ooh.
Yes, because there's an old wives' tale that if we have a green Christmas, it usually means you're going to have a green April. with no snow. Isn't that something? I heard about that first last year.
Really?
Yeah, never heard of it before. And then somebody alerted me to it. So there's two different ways we can look at this.
Okay.
So we dug into the data. Here's what we got. Let's start with this first. Not looking at Christmas at all, just an average April here in the Quad Cities. So 84% of past April years and months here in the Quad Cities have had some kind of snow. And that means at least a trace. But look at this, 2020, we had 7 inches of snow in April.
What?
2018, we had 3 inches of snow. So only 16% of past Aprils in the snow have had none. Or April snows have had no snow. April months have had no snow. So it's not a good statistic. That tells you more than likely we're going to see some
trace, yes.
kind of snow. But what about that wives' tale of the no Christmas snow means no April snow? So I went back and looked at all of that. Since 1893, we've had 63 years with no snow on Christmas, this past one included. We had no snow on the ground. Also since 1893, 13 of those years have had above average snowfall the following April. The average snow in April is 4 inches. But look at the piece of pie in terms of who hasn't had above average snowfall. You've got only 21% of these years have had above average snowfall. 80% nearly have had not above average snowfall. So it's likely, yes, that we're not going to see a big April snow and perhaps none at all based on what happened this previous Christmas.
Interesting.
So it's true.
It's true.
It's true for the most part. Isn't that something?
So neat.
I had no idea about it until somebody told me. So kudos to whoever told me. Who was it?
This is why we ask Andrew.
Exactly, because we can go back and do that. And now my data skills are rubbing off on him because you're digging into the data all the time too.
I love it. I'm a data nerd.
He's becoming a mini data nerd me over there. So Ann from Galesburg is who sent that in. Thanks, Ann. We appreciate it.
Oh, wonderful question.
Yes.
Wonderful question. And we got some decent questions here already too.
All right.
Yeah,
we'll get to it.
Those down. I mean, we've built some up over the morning too. Let's see. So I'm trying to read through these as we get through. We had some reports here from this morning. But yeah, the 5 out of 5 for severe weather in Tennessee, someone mentioned, and that is crazy.
It is. It's rare. Again, you don't see that often.
Like maybe once a year about, give or take?
If that, yeah.
If that? Mm-hmm. Yeah, very rare. So that's something to keep an eye on down there. Why is Thursday a weather impact day? It is not. What I'm guessing has happened on the stream, right? And we don't have a weather impact day Thursday.
No weather impact alert for Thursday.
What I'm guessing has happened is on the stream, the time zone shift for the data text. So that red box got shifted over to Thursday. So that's meant to be on today, but you have the PM 8-day graphic, not the 8-day.
I can actually double check
so
while we're here.
We can show you that one.
Yep.
But that's the reason why you saw the red box on Thursday is just the data text switched. So there's no weather impact alert tomorrow. What about Rock Falls? So we'll answer that once.
You know why? It's on the PM.
That's what I was saying. It's on the PM.
That's why.
Day.
You know what? We're gonna fix that right now.
We'll do it live.
We'll do it live. We're gonna fix it right now, because we have 2 different versions of our 8-day, and I won't get into the details as why, because it's all technical.
It's all technical.
But it's something we have to do.
Yes.
But yeah, let me refresh that on the stream right now, and then we'll be okay. Pardon me for a minute. I'm just going to go over here and literally click something to refresh it. Give me a second. Continue on, Peter.
Yeah, so Michelle was our next question. She's wondering about how about Rock Falls later today. And I'll slide in here and we can start.
Go right ahead,
these questions. I just got a lot shorter, didn't I? Yeah. I have a little box back here to make me the same height as Andrew. But let's look at your storm zones for this afternoon. Again, it's shifted a little bit here further. Once it pops up, it's shifted a little bit further here to the east. So when you're in Sterling and Whiteside County, Sterling, Rock Falls area, you're actually at that level 2 out of 5 threat now. We'll let Andrew slide back in here. But you're at that level 2 out of 5 threat now. Before yesterday, you were right around that level 3 threat. When it comes to wind, that's kind of the biggest potential threat for anyone here this afternoon with these systems. You're also now at a level 2 out of 5 threat. That level 3 threat has shifted further to the east where you're seeing that hatched area. And again, these are going to be scattered storms even in that hatched area that we're seeing in the viewing area. That's something to keep in mind. So when it comes to Sterling, maybe you could be seeing some showers, maybe a quick little pop-up thunderstorm or two. Yeah. But that threat is further to the east now along the I-39 kind of corridor into Bureau County, the eastern portions of Bureau County near Princeton, Peru here today.
And even depending, we mentioned this a couple of days ago. If the southern extent of those storms robs a lot of the energy, that also robs our energy too.
Yes.
And we may see nothing at all. So it's just something we're preparing you for. We just want you to be on guard. Again, it's rapidly changing.
Rapidly changing. It's all going to depend on how much storm energy we build up and when that break in the clouds, if it happens, does.
Exactly. Stream is fixed now.
Stream is fixed. There we go.
Thank you for letting us know.
Yeah, that was very helpful. And Michelle had another question. Since we had such a mild winter without a lot of snow, do you think we're going to have a real rainy spring and summer?
That's a great question. Certainly the pattern we're in right now is very supportive of an active spring. We've already seen that, not just with severe weather, but we've also caught up on rain quickly.
Yes.
Very quickly.
I think everyone after this should be potentially, we'll get the new update tomorrow, but might be in the all clear.
Yeah, we've been able to show this, and I'll poke around here for a second. We'll bring it up real quickly. You can see how the majority of the Quad Cities is now out of drought completely. There's this little narrow corridor, kind of a weird shape, isn't it? That it goes to Quad Cities into the south where there's pre-drought conditions. Yeah. But the only areas that are in drought are down near Macomb, and then as you go north of Clinton and Maquoketa. Those are the only areas in drought technically right now. So we're standing really good here. And I have a feeling after today's rain, this will shrink even more.
Yeah, I have a good feeling. Yeah, I think most, I don't see the exact levels, but I think we could be seeing a lot more of that dry than the moderate in our even hometowns to the north. Because I know Dubuque is almost near an inch already. I looked at their data as well.
Yeah, they're catching up as we speak.
Yeah.
Literally. So this is really good news. We'll hope it continues. Of course, if the drought intensifies to the west of us later this spring and to the early summer, that's never a good sign. That's also indicative that it could spread farther east. But right now, we just don't see that sign. Just don't see it.
The good news is to our southwest, it's looking good there, which is where we get the moisture a little bit better. Not all the way down in Texas, but in the Kansas City, Wichita area, it's a little bit better.
Yes.
Which is where we pull the moisture for our storms when they make their way here. So that's a good news when it comes, looking to western Missouri, western central Missouri, getting a little bit of a break there, even into portions of Oklahoma. That's where we get our moisture for a lot of our storms. So that is good news that there's been a little bit less of a drought if you want rainfall here.
Super helpful to have that scenario. Super, super helpful. Great question.
Great question. Brian in Davenport was wondering, when do you expect the first derecho or tornado coming to the Quad Cities?
Oh, man, that is hard to predict.
Can't predict it.
Very hard to predict. I can show you the derecho climatology if you want to know how frequently they come through here. We could pull that up really quickly because that's kind of surprising, depending on how you look at it.
It's true.
So if you look at the derecho frequency of how often we have these, and forgive the old graphics because we haven't used this yet with the new graphics layout yet, but one every year in the Quad Cities, generally speaking. One derecho every year here in the Quad Cities. Our peak derecho month is usually in June and July. June especially, climatologically speaking, usually is when the derechos occur the most often. So we're not there quite yet. Hasn't happened yet. If you look at the frequency, there's some of the past derechos we've had. We had one in 2024 last year. We had one in 2023. In fact, the first ever December derecho we had back in 2021. Do you remember that? You probably don't remember that, but we do.
I remember 2024. That was my first day here in the Quad Cities. I was driving from Des Moines as a derecho was following me for my first day when I was moving here to the Quad Cities.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
It has been something else. So we are bound to have one. In fact, last year was the year we had two derechos in the same year. So we are going to have one, most likely, given past history. When does it arrive exactly? I can't tell you that this far in advance. And don't forget that we don't classify derechos until after the fact.
After the event.
So when is it most likely to happen based on past history? It's in June.
June.
Yeah. We'll see.
We'll see. Can't forecast that. Tornadoes, though, when do you think we'll get our first tornado?
Oh, it'll happen this month. It's always in April.
It always is.
We got lucky last month. It was pretty quiet for the most part, but now we're in April. We're getting into May and June. We start seeing that ramp up. So you're likely going to see the first tornado touchdown in the Quad Cities, most likely sometime this month, if not next month.
Yes.
When exactly? I couldn't tell you this far ahead of time.
No.
If I could, I wouldn't be standing here right now.
That's true. Maybe we'll see the future.
Yeah, I'd be collecting my Nobel Prize and retiring to my private island.
Oh, that'd be nice, wouldn't it?
Yes. Oh, goodness.
Viewer Moline asks, what signs should we be looking for in the next few hours to help determine if we get another wave of storms this afternoon?
I love that question. So this is especially true east of the Quad Cities. If you live east of the Quad Cities, this is what you need to be looking for as we go throughout the day. If we can get sun out by 11, and that sun can stay out for a few hours, you step outside, it's warm, it's sticky.
Yes.
You're going to feel that humidity today. If you feel that, you need to remain on guard for the afternoon. So that's what you're going to be watching for, and that's what we're going to be watching for too.
Yes, we're keeping an eye on sunshine, storm energy, and moisture levels, the dew points.
If you keep all of that in mind, you essentially become your own human barometer.
That's pretty much it.
And you can assess your own severe storm risk.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it.
Exactly.
I like that. Deb from Knoxville was wondering, east wind yesterday broke one of my beautiful white pines in half. Oh, this is just a story.
Goodness.
A healthy tree, no storms, so tired of wind. We're almost at the peak.
I know, we are. We're almost there.
A couple days off, I think, right, from the peak of the windiest, highest average, right?
That's right.
And it starts to go down. So there's good news.
We're getting there.
Maybe another 2-3 weeks, and it'll start to, I think, get really a lot better, noticeably better. I would hope once we get into a nice spring pattern.
Please.
I know, we need it.
Yeah, we're all sick of the wind. We're sick of it.
Oh, Billy just wanted to report he got almost an inch in Clinton. Thank you, Billy.
Thank you, Billy. We'll add that to our rainfall map that I'll have for you coming up at the 11.
Yeah, 0.92 inches. That's a good soaking.
That's awesome. I'm going to, you know what? I need to write that down.
Yeah, do you want me to screenshot it?
I got to get this list. Yeah, you might have to screenshot it too. I got to get this list started. So this is Clinton, Iowa, 0.92.
Yes.
Thank you, Billy. I'll add that to our
Billy,
rainfall map.
as always.
Yes, I'm going to be putting that together. So if you're curious what the rain has done so far this morning, come back for GMQC at 11. I'll have that tally for you.
Oh, that'll be interesting to see.
Going to be a lot over an inch. I know that. A lot.
Yeah, there's a large portion I was tracking this morning by 7 a.m. They already had over an inch in central Iowa.
I believe it. A lot of moisture out there.
A lot of moisture.
We all caught up?
One more.
One more?
What can we expect for Peru? That's
Peru, yes.
where it's getting a little bit more interesting.
Yep, LaSalle, Peru is further into that 3.
So yeah, Dave, this is where you have that little bit more elevated risk. So
we'll pop it up here.
There we go.
Got to zoom back in. I got to take that out of there.
It's always cool to see though, the 5.
There it is. Yeah, LaSalle, Peru, really, really deeply embedded into the 3. Honestly, yeah, LaSalle, Peru, if something was going to brew today, you've got the best chance of that, I think, honestly. You know, looking at the model runs and everything else, you're in a prime spot where you could get a pretty decent storm there later this afternoon. I mean, there's 5. But before then, notice again, you have a couple of these isolated cells. These are the ones that I'd be most worried about with a tornado threat, would be these early ones. And you do have one southwest of you, at least on our rapid refresh model here at 2 o'clock. So you're right in that zone, you're right in that corridor where, yeah, I would be watching the sky and the radar very carefully as we approach 2 o'clock.
Yeah, definitely
And beyond.
something to keep an eye on.
That's right, yeah.
Keep an eye on, again, your human barometer.
You are a human barometer,
Sticky,
yes.
sunny, warm.
Yes.
Keep an eye.
Keep an eye to the sky.
Yes.
Remain on guard. All right. I think we're all caught up.
All caught up. Tracy just wanted to say that April showers bring May flowers.
That's
Good
right.
morning, and that is correct.
That is
so
correct.
excited.
It's one of my favorite sayings in weather.
It's not beautiful.
I love it. I love
Beautiful.
it. Well, we want to thank you guys for being here for this episode of Ask Andrew. We are going to send it back to our live stream coverage with Doppler radar and a couple of other graphics. We're going to check back in again this morning before GMQC at 11. So continuing coverage right here on the 8 Plus app. Don't forget to tell a friend. Do you have a smart TV?
I do.
I do too.
What you can do? I have a Roku, so
Yeah.
I think Roku,
Amazon Fire,
and Apple.
and Apple TV.
You can download on your TV and watch for free.
Commercial free.
It's the best.
We love it. Absolutely. All right. We'll see you in a little bit here on the E Plus app. Also see you at 11. Have a great day, Quad Cities.
Continue with us and watch free now on the 8 Plus app everywhere you stream.